What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Hey, y'all know I got a dope video for y'all for entertainment purposes only, so stay tuned to the end. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell and leave a comment. But enough with all this talking, let's get straight into the content.
This shit is crazy, y'all. Do y'all know what Generation Alpha is? Before I even start, I had a crazy spiritual awakening last night. And when I tell y'all this information, it's really going to hit home. Listen to this shit. You know how they said we're all part of a certain generation, right? The silent, the boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, the millennials like me, Gen Z. Everybody thought that Gen Z was the last generation, but the last generation is Alpha. Now, you know what don't make sense? Why would they call the last generation Alpha? For those who don't know, Alpha means something that is first, like the very first. Look at the time period that these babies are born from. Now look, I want y'all to also look at this shit. Generation. Gene. Everybody knows that the gene is what make up the body, right? This whole time we thought generations meant by time. It really mean by different genes. Alpha, the new gene. Why? Y'all should remember this, right? Normally when you see Alpha, it normally goes Omega after. That means from beginning to end. I'm not trying to get religious, but y'all remember, God always said I'm the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, right? I just want y'all to think what's going to come after this generation. Think about it, all the way down to Alpha.
In your genetic code, it's a double helix that right turns, and there are these sulfur bridges in the midst of every single atom that you have that has a code. And what happens is every 10 there's a bridge, and then every 5 there's a bridge, and then every 6 there's a bridge, and then every 5 there's a bridge, and then it repeats for over and over and over again. And that's a part of your DNA, that's a part of my DNA. This is something that we just recently discovered. This whole thing of 10, 5, 6, 5. Well, what is amazing is with the numbers actually correspond with Jewish letters. The number, if you notice that there's 2 number 5s, both of those are H's. And then if you'll notice that the number 10 is a Y and the number 6 is a W, it's how that you spell Yahweh. And God's name is literally written in your DNA. Okay, well, you see how there's 2 number 5s and there's 2 H's. The word for both of those is behold, behold. The symbol for the Y is a hand, and the symbol for the W is a nail. The name Yahweh means behold the nails in my hands.
I want y'all to understand what's going on right now, bro. Look, y'all, this is just for entertainment purposes only, right? Just put 2 and 2 together, yo. You also peep the next generation of people starts in 2024. If you think that was some heat to show love for that, don't he?
The next generation starting in 2024. I'm kind of curious on how these turn out, because Gen Z is a whole different breed.
There's this guy, and he spent 100 days underwater, and it reversed his age. It reversed his age. So check this out, right? He wanted to do a scientific study, his own research on what, like, all that pressure being underwater would make your body do. Okay. So he spent, I think, like exactly 100 days in a submarine. I forgot how deep it was, but he spent like eating, living, sleeping there 100 days. Now, when he got out, this is the crazy part, because he went to a facility to go and run some tests on it. Now, his stem cells, his blood work, and everything that they've done about his tests, it says that he aged 10 years younger. What? Yeah.
Like, all his wrinkles were gone or some shit? Or like...
No, like his body.
So he felt healthier.
Yeah, and he did feel healthier. He was feeling healthier. His blood pressure was down.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, he said like he can sleep better, and he dead ass feels like 10 years younger once he got back to the surface.
What?
But it's interesting because that's a thing that happens if somebody's in space too long.
How many people willing to spend 100 days in the sub just to slow down aging? After this year, I don't think nobody willing to be in a submarine, period.
Do you think there's extraterrestrials out there, Al, as well?
What?
Do you think there's...
You know, I've been asked that question hundreds of times. Do you believe in aliens? And I say, yeah. Have you ever seen one? I say, yeah, I have. Well, how have you seen them? Well, I said, I look in the mirror every morning. Because that's what we are. We are the aliens, but we just think we're the thing. We just think they're somebody else, but we're the ones who came from somewhere else. Because somebody else had to survive, and they got in a little spacecraft, and they came here, and they landed, and they started civilization here. That's what I believe. And if you don't believe me, go Go get books on the ancient Sumerians and see what they had to say.
That's a whole different discussion now.
They'll tell you right up front.
Blown that right open.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sadly, we can't get into that.
Let's go to another dark side of it right now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I don't want to get too complicated.
You're brilliant. It's so fascinating to hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
He is an astronaut. Do you think he got a point? Were we just a civilization that relocated here because of a dying planet or wherever the case may be and just restarted life all over with again? I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
I need some real answers yet again on what this right here really is.
We are all just pawns in a cosmic game being played by very powerful entities. The world is a stage, no? We know all of these wars and all these issues and all these pandemics are orchestrated. This cosmic game or cosmic war has been going on for millions of years. As above, so below, right? If humanity is warring and causing all of these issues on planet Earth, what do you think happens elsewhere? What do you think happens in other galaxies and other universes? Same thing. The Freemasons put it right in your face that we are pawns in a game. I mean, if you've ever played chess, you know that the pawns are the first one to go, right? They're the weakest, but they're the most in number. And the pawns are supposed to protect the king and queen. Majority of humanity are being used as disposable pawns. And you know the whole biblical story of the war between heaven and hell, or God versus Satan. It's literally two opposing forces going at each other for millions of years. I mean, if you look at the occult symbolism for the black and white checkers, it creates the illusion of separation and strife, but really it's the same freaking board, it's the same game. We're all one, but we perceive each other as separate. And I have referenced this music video probably more than once. It's by Grimes. And you know she knows what she's talking about because she literally got involved with Elon Musk, one of the most powerful men on Earth. In her music video, Player of Games, remember how I say we're just pawns in a universal game? She represents purity. She represents the maternal energy. Almost like an angel, right? A pure angel. And she's playing a chess game with what looks like Sauron from Lord of the Rings, which, you know, if you're a Lord of the Rings watcher or fan, that mofo is evil. All it wants to do is control. And this goes back to the heavenly wars, right? The war in heaven, God versus Satan. We are the children of higher dimensional entities. We are the children of what you call gods. And I mean plural, gods. It's not just one God. Everybody is a fractal of God. And because we are children of these very, very powerful entities, this is why the Bible also mentions Nephilims, we carry their karma. We carry their patterns. Human beings act the same way that these gods do. They're not perfect. This is why we're not perfect. We're made in their image. We're carrying our ancestors' traumas, literally. We keep replaying the same thing over and over again. This is why history repeats itself. All Earth is just a miniature version of all the shit that's going up in the heavens, so you call. How did this war start? How did we get involved in all of this? It's because a couple of these gods, they decided to fall into density consciousness. And the thing is, they want to stay there. They don't want to come back. If you want to learn more about the fall of these gods and what humanity has anything to do with this, my book is linked in my bio. I say things on there that I can't say on here because all my videos get taken down somehow. My book is titled Made in God's Image, again, link in bio. But because these gods decided to fall into density, it caused a rift in the relationship between them and the other gods who decided to stay in a certain vibration. Human beings are literally hybrids of these non-fallen and fallen entities. This is why in pop culture you have the depiction of the angel and the devil on the shoulder, because literally that's what we are made of. What you want to do is break out of duality thinking, duality consciousness. Because although you can recognize that, you know, your table is solid, the water you drink is wet, that is separation, right? You also have to recognize that in separation there is also oneness. Stop choosing sides, stop watching the news. I mean, watch the news, but like, don't absorb the energy, don't get polarized. And just try and show compassion and empathy to all around you, because we are all one. And this senseless war that has been going on for millions and millions of years has got to end someday. I hope.
So we know about all these outrageous ass movies that's coming out, like Leave the World Behind, Civil War. But guess what? They have another one. ISS.
Down here in Mission Control. Welcome to space.
The Russians always knock 3 times. I think it's just a superstition.
Whoa. I've been seeing pictures, but this.
We don't talk politics. Here we are. One.
Hey guys.
Wait a minute, what the hell is going on down there?
Oh, whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out.
Oh my god.
Houston, do you read?
War has broken out below. And we were told to take the ISS. By any means necessary.
If we got orders from our government to take control.
What do you suggest we do now?
Now I think you get the gist. Don't y'all find it very intriguing on how we're having all of these interesting movies? You find that one very interesting. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this movie ISS in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom states.
All the subliminal messages had you wondering like what's really going on, but it's like we never know until when it happens.
Morbid Facts, Part 168. Christian Bale got the inspiration for his character in American Psycho while watching Tom Cruise on The Late Show with David Letterman. Bale said Cruise had this very intense friendliness with nothing behind the eyes, which he would try to emulate through the character of Patrick Bateman. This is the skull of a 16th century female vampire with a brick in her mouth to prevent her from feasting on plague victims. In 2011, a Florida senator tried to bring back dwarf tossing, arguing that, in this economy, why would we want to prevent people from getting gainful employment? Dwarf tossing in Florida was only made illegal in 1989 after one dwarf died from alcohol poisoning. But other than New York, it's still legal in every other state. Texas got rid of last meal requests after a death row inmate ordered 2 country fried steaks, a triple cheeseburger, a beef and cheese omelet, a pound of barbecued beef, a loaf of bread, 3 fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, a pint of Bluebell ice cream, and peanut butter fudge. He then proceeded to eat none of it.
Lab-grown meat. They got lab-grown fruit. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Of lab-grown meat, but what about lab-grown fruit?
Lab-grown fruit.
Plant and food research are looking at how to produce fruit without a tree, vine, or bush. Katie Stevenson explains.
Unnaturally.
It may not look like it now, but this petri dish has the makings of blueberries.
We could have a whole new growing system for fresh plant foods.
A system that looks completely different from what we've always known.
We're all aware that the world is changing. We've got climate change, which is going to cause quite disruption to our growing systems and where we live and how we grow and where we grow.
Plant and food research is working with cells from a range of fruits, including cherries, peaches, and apples. Scientists say among the benefits could be reducing the environmental impact of food production.
What about the nutrients?
Able to feed future populations in urban cities.
What about the nutrients?
By our growing systems, we can fill those gaps in the year where there might be pressure.
So while we was so focused on this lab-grown meat, they was coming at us with this lab-grown fruit. So even if you do eat right, or try to eat right, that shit come from a lab still. We heard them talk about how they can make more food. What about the nutrients? We didn't hear how nutritious it was. Aren't you guys entertained? Let me know what you guys think about the lab-grown fruit in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom.
In a not too far future, I can see a lot of options on the menus as far as like lab grown meat and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised they even charge higher, treating it as some kind of delicacy.
Scientists may soon be able to communicate with whales after making a significant advancement in understanding the language of whales, particularly sperm whales. The researchers identified elements in their vocalizations that are similar to human speech. The team discovered that the acoustic properties of sperm whale clicks, such as pitch, are comparable to human vowels and diphthongs, where one vowel sound transitions into another. Using a deep learning model, which was initially developed for human language, they predicted meaningful aspects of whale vocalizations, including new acoustic properties. The researchers analyzed 3,948 sperm whale codas recorded between 2014 and 2018. Their analysis led to propose that whale clicks could be equated to the pulses of vocal folds in human speech production, with the sperm whale's nasal complex acting as a filter that modulates resonant frequencies. This suggests that the communication of sperm whales is far more complex, intricate, and information-rich than previously understood. The researchers drew parallels to human languages, such as Mandarin, where vocal tone can alter the meaning of syllables, indicating a similar potential for complexity in whale communication. The study's findings point to the whale's ability to control the frequency of their vocalizations. If these conclusions hold true, it implies that sperm whale communication carries a depth and complexity akin to human speech, suggesting a highly sophisticated and nuanced form of aquatic communication.
Animals and humans had coexisted on this planet for millions of years, and the fact that we can't regularly communicate with them is nuts.
The news for Iceland keeps getting worse. Since a volcano eruption that caused this river of lava miles and miles or kilometers long is now threatening the country in another way. It turns out the superheated lava is giving off toxic gases, which is threatening people all over the country, including the capital of Iceland itself.
This morning, new concerns about toxic gas spreading from this erupting volcano in Iceland as lava spews for miles across the Reykjanes Peninsula. Iceland's meteorological office warning pollution from the gas could spread all the way to the capital, Reykjavik.
And they include a lot of very toxic materials, especially sulfur, so locally it can be really dangerous.
So even if you don't live near this volcano eruption in Iceland, those toxic gases can still come to their area or their city. Iceland has had just a disastrous year. Earthquakes every day, sometimes in the hundreds. A freaking erupting volcano and now toxic gases? I don't know how those people survive this stuff. They are tough. Shabadoo Booshkies, Shabadoo.
So if y'all don't know, the infamous card game was made in the 90s, and something made me want to go through a few different things and just give y'all a few thoughts. Have a nice little surprise for y'all at the end about the creator, Steve Jackson, as well. Let's just hop right into it. First off, that's weird in itself, right? But hold on one second. Now what do we have here? You know, if it was just the one card, the one coincidence, okay. But a charismatic leader who's obviously a politician with blonde hair? Yes, we've been over this a million times. Donald Trump's uncle raided Nikola Tesla, who had a time machine. They're time travelers. This book written in the 1800s was about Trump. They also wrote a book called The Adventures of Barron Trump, literally about his son. So while we're on the topic of politics, plague of demons in Washington, D.C., I mean, are we even sure that our politicians aren't demons? No words. Now, I thought this one was crazy. Black Masquerade. So he sees one recording music, right? But who's he being recorded by? Who's the audio engineers? Warlocks. If you've never listened to John Todd, he said that every record label has a throne room where they literally cast magic and spells over the music. A brief attack of consciousness. You mean kind of like how the Fruit of the Loom is lying about the cornucopia or whatever and faking the Mandela effect to screw up our heads? Like that? And mind control lasers. This one's funny. It's about rounding people up for anarchy. This one right here is a talking bronze head. Kind of like, you know, they'll make an image for the beast and he'll have power to give life into the image of the beast that he should both speak and cause that anyone that would not worship him would be unalived. Of course, the great deception, right? No words. Now, is this really a meteor or is it Nibiru? Wormwood. Make sure y'all bookmark this so you can go back and inspect the cards. Princess Diane. But the triangles and the eyes, I'll let you look at that. This is hilarious. Science fiction fans, and it shows the Earth from outer space. Imagine that. And then they show what they'll use to deceive people. Now, funny thing about Steve Jackson, who created the game, the United States Secret Service raided his office. Why do y'all think that happened?
How many people heard of this game? I heard that you can't even find it under $1,000 now.
Why do we have melanin in the cochlea of our ear?
Actually, that's not just melanin in the cochlea of the ear. Every single sense, the 5 senses, has melanin between it and the environment. That should actually stimulate the question, why is it that our 5 senses have melanin adjacent to it? What is the purpose? What is nature trying to tell us? And it's basically trying to tell us that animals are capable of photosynthesis, utilizing light to create free electrons for us to use as energy sources. And that's the key. When you actually look deep into melanin biology, especially now that condensed matter physicist guys are looking at melanin in a totally different light, it's probably the most efficient photovoltaic that's out there. Now, almost every single thing alive on the planet has melanin at some level in it. It's used in different ways, but it always is a sine qua non of biophoton signaling and creation of electrons. The thing that makes it special, and I think the reason why it's in the cochlea, is that it is extremely energy efficient and it turns and absorbs all electromagnetic radiation into usable information for the system.
See, what they do is tell you half truths and not the whole truth. And then we wonder why we're living a big ass lie in this world. That phrase, little white lie, is much more deeper than you think. So what he's actually talking about is neuromelanin. And there's different types of melanin, but neuromelanin is what we're focusing on today. So we have this throughout our nervous system, neuromelanin. Neuromelanin acts as a transmitter or a modulator. It modulates or transmits etheric energy into what you call chemical energy. The same way solar panel takes the sun energy and transmute that into electricity so you can use it as light. Or in the same manner, this plant takes the sun energy and the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and transmute that into the oxygen that we breathe in and also sugar. Yes, y'all, we are sweet. This is why we look like chocolate. That's why they call you chocolate. Life is like a box of chocolates. Blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. This is why our people get diabetes the most. You're already sweet and you're putting more sweets into your body. This is why the Kool-Aid man was introduced into our community, because we are so hot like the sun. They wanted us to have a Kool-Aid. And how I know it was introduced into our community, because 666, which is carbon, the mark of the beast. This is what they call us. So melanin and chlorophyll is the same thing. From a molecular standpoint, they look about the same. Plant juice, human juice. So the plants and the trees take the sun's energy and they grow physically. Meanwhile, we take the sun's energy and we grow spiritually. Melanin is like chlorophyll in plants. Chlorophyll allows photosynthesis to occur in the transference of the sun's energy for the body. While the growth of plants is directed physical sunlight, the growth of human beings is directed towards spiritual consciousness and inner vision. So with this new age of Aquarius, this is why we are remembering who we are. True knowledge, true information, true wisdom is coming back to the surface now. And it is starting with our people. Melanin is a super absorber of all forms. It has black hole properties. And another name for black hole is black sun, which is the summation of our subconscious mind. So literally our subconscious mind is coming back to the surface right now. And the subconscious mind is what holds all the information. This is literally the Akashic records coming back into the surface, y'all. And again, this is why they're talking more about the aurora borealis, and we're seeing more of these, even though they're covering up the skies. This was taken in Sweden a few days ago. Do you see what I'm seeing here, y'all? I'm seeing a bird. I'm seeing the phoenix, right? Isn't that what you're seeing as well, the phoenix? So I imagine when the phoenix turns all red, this is what they call code red. This also made me thought of Hunger Games and Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. But look at the symbology. You see the red, right? Y'all see that? Code red. And Maya is just another name for illusion. And Angel Lu, which is the angels, which is us. Yeah, y'all, I don't know how all that segue into this right here, but I'm showing you how everything is connected, literally. And lastly, I want to read this. Brain neuromelanin is normally localized in discrete granules inside neural cell bodies, mainly in pernuclear space. Albinos show pigments in substantia nigra. Neuromelanin, when bleached, is like lipofuscin. In primates, this pigment is well evident and they share with man similar neuromelanin related disorders. Did you hear about the disorder in there, y'all? This is why we carbonated people are able to see, taste, smell, and do things much more effectively than any other. And this is what they will not tell you, but it's evident. So yes, y'all, this is why we must do research on our own, because our own is not even put out there to give us correct information about us. And this video is to bring awareness. It's for educational purposes only. Time and time again, we have been shown that the system that has been created is against us and is against our spiritual growth, because they know if and when we do focus on it, which is happening right now, then the game is over. So to my sweet chocolate melanated brothers and sisters out there, you don't need any more sweets or chocolate in your life. You are already that. Now, I know it's hard, but I want you to go out and bask into that sunlight and get these codes. These codes are being given out every single day. Let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Share this video and follow for more, y'all.
Y'all hear that? Get out in that sun. Get y'all some downloads.
live right here in Clarksville, and look, check this out. A 4-month-old survives after being sucked up by a tornado that destroyed Clarksville's family home. You're going to want to hear this story. This right here is all that's left of their place. So just listen to this. This is incredible, and God is so real. Said she was in the back bedroom with her 1-year-old son when she heard the wind howling. Something in me just told me to run and jump on top of my son. Literally, the moment I jumped on him, the walls collapsed on top of her. She don't know how she survived, but then their 4-month-old, tip of the tornado came down to the bassinet with my baby Lord in it, Moore said. He was the first thing to go up. So her boyfriend runs, jumps, grabs onto the baby that's in the bassinet, and it sucks them both up out of the house. I mean, they're spinning around in circles and stuff, you know, but he didn't let go. This is the bassinet up in the tree, by the way. By the grace of God, she said they were frantically searching for 10 minutes when they found their baby alive, lying in a fallen tree in the pouring rain. All of them survived the tornado. Man, that gives me goosebumps, dude, for real. If this doesn't tell you that God's real, nothing will.